Welcome. In this video, I'll be talking about the cost of home ownership. And so usually when people are buying a home, they take out a mortgage. And a mortgage is just a long-term installment loan. Oftentimes they'll be required to make a down payment, which goes to the seller of the house and is often a percentage of the total price of the house, maybe 5%, 10%, or 20%. Those are just examples. And a mortgage sometimes involves points. So this is a one-time fee paid to lender, to the lender at closing, and the fee, there's the points rather, are percentage points. So those are a percentage of the loan amount, and oftentimes this is 1 or 2 points, or 1 or 2% of the loan amount. So let's work through some examples. Actually, before I get started, let me just remind everyone of the formula that we use to calculate payments on an installment loan. So the PMT, that stands for payment. This is calculated by taking the principal, multiplying that by the quotient of rate over N. So this is the interest rate, R. These are the number of payments made each period of the loan. Usually this is going to be 12 payments are made monthly. And in fact, I think in just about every example I've seen of a mortgage or a car payment, N is 12. In the denominator, we have 1 minus, 1 plus R over N. And this is has an exponent. It's key to notice there's a negative in the exponent here, and that is N times T. So again, N is usually 12. T is the years of the loan. For a mortgage, that may be 15, 20, or 30 years. In the examples that we're going to be doing, we'll be using a fixed rate mortgage. So the interest rate is going to be held constant. There are adjustable rate mortgages where that would fluctuate potentially, and that's just beyond the scope of this video. So let's do our first example, and say that we want to purchase a home and the purchase price is $275,000, and we're able to make a down payment of 10%. The lender is asking for 2 points at closing, and we're going to finance for 30 years at 3%. Okay, so first of all, let's figure out what our down payment is going to be. So 275 times 10%, so 0.1. So actually that's pretty easy. We can just move the decimal place. So that'll be 27,500. So that's our down payment. So for the amount of the loan, we can subtract the down payment, and the amount that we'll need to borrow is, let's see, 247,500. So the 27,500 goes to the seller. This is what we're going to borrow, and if we're required to pay points, it's going to be on this amount. This is the loan amount. So I'll take 247,500, 2 points, so that's 0.02, and that works out to be $4,950. So this will be due at closing, and let's see, we're going to take out the loan in this amount. So to figure out our payment, I'll take the 247,500, multiply that by R over N. Our interest rate is 3%. We're making monthly payments, so that's 0.03 over 12. And then I've got 1 minus, 1 plus, 0.03 over 12. And don't forget the negative here. This is N times T. So 12, and this is a 30-year mortgage, so 12 times 30. So let's do the calculation here. 0.03 divided by 12 times 247,500. So in the numerator I have 618.75, and in the denominator I'm going to work from inside out, so I'll take 0.03 divided by 12 and then add 1. That's raised to a power of negative. 12 times 30 is 360. I need to subtract this from 1. And so in the denominator I have 0.5930 if I round. Now I'm actually just going to keep this number in my calculator and take 618.75 divided by that result. And this is 1043 and 47 cents. All right, so let's just round that to the nearest whole dollar and say that our monthly payment is going to be $1,043. Now, over the course of the loan, which is a 30-year loan, making 12 monthly payments, I will make 12 payments a year for 30 years. So to get the total of payments, I'm going to take 1043 times 12 times 30, and I'll end up paying $375,480. Now, my original mortgage amount, recall, was $247,500. So the difference between these amounts is the interest that I'll be paying. So if I subtract $247,500, I'm paying $127,980 in interest. All right, let's do one more example, and let's see, just to switch it up a little bit, we'll say this time we're going to buy a condo. So this is example number 2. We're going to buy a condo that is $175,000. We have 5% to put down. There's going to be 1 point at closing. And let's just do a 15-year and at 5%. All right, so first let's figure out our down payment. 175,000 times 0.05, that's 5%. So 175 times 0.05, that is 8,750. So I can subtract that from the sale price, and 175 minus 8750, and so I will need to borrow $166,000, 250, and it's on this amount that I'll be paying the percentage at closing. So 166,250 times 0.01, and so times 0.01, it just moves the decimal place, and I've got $1,662.50. So just to point out, the down payment and the points, both of those are due, up front. So, if this was the scenario you were in, you would have to make sure you had at least this much money, combined at the start, both to pay the down payment and to pay the points. And to figure out then our payment, that's just based on this amount, 166,250. Our rate is 5%. We're making monthly payments, so that's 0.05 over 12. Then I have 1 minus 1 plus 0.05 over 12 to the negative, and then this is 15 times 12. So let's do the calculation. 166,250 times 0.05 divided by 12. So this is 692,708, and then they're repeating 3. And then I've got 0.05 divided by 12 plus 1 raised to a power of negative 15 times 12. and I need to subtract that from 1, and so I get 0.5269. So I'll take my 692.7083 and divide it by that answer, and my payment is $1314.69. And so I'm going to just round that to $1315. And if I make 12 payments a year for 15 years, $1315 times 12 times 15, I'll make a total. The total of my payments will be $236,700. The amount of my loan was $166,250. So minus $166,250. The interest that I'm paying then is $70,450. So that's the interest, and this is total of payments. All right, so there's another example. Keep in mind that something to consider, as far as if you're thinking about the cost of home ownership, often with a condominium and with some even neighborhoods where you would buy a home, there is an HOA, and so that would be something that you would have to consider an added expense for your monthly expense. And with home ownership, oftentimes you have to pay for insurance, and there are other expenses with that as well. So this might not be your total cost of home ownership, but that's kind of the basics for either the mortgage payment on a home or condo. I hope that helps. See you next time.